All right, let's move on. 31 pending challenges. This time I guess I'll play someone random. Give me a random number between 1 and 31.
7,
That's a number I can count to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maka. Or is it Makwa? Whatever your name is, good luck. We'll play e4. I think every game so far has been an e4 opening, with the exception of the very first game against Patrick JMT. Okay, so now we have completely different opening, Scandinavian. I can't play the Halloween Gambit. Just have to play chess. Queen d8. I actually ran into this in a tournament game recently. I'll have to remember the preparation. Knight f3. No, bishop g4 will come at some point. Really trying to remember the preparation. h3. I think h3, yeah. I'm attacking b7. Still prep. I played this in Australia, and my opponent blitzed out literally the whole game, and he equalized, and then we drew. But then he showed me what to do. I think there's a clever move here, bishop f4. So he was showing me after the game how white secures some advantage. I don't know, like, I'm trying to rely on memory, but also just trying to, like, figure out the position. I'm pretty sure bishop f4 where I sack the pawn. But does it work? Bishop f4, the idea was... Was it bishop d3 first? That was bishop f4. Yeah, let's play bishop f4. If he's brave enough to take on d4, I'll figure things out. But I think the eventual idea is a castle queenside, and then go for some like g4, g5. This is the type of opening I should know better. I shouldn't be thinking so early. Like when I encountered it in the tournament, I was spending like 5 minutes every move trying to figure things out from the very beginning. That's not what you want to do in the opening. Wow, queen takes d4, so he's accepting the gambit. So I know there's some idea with knight b5. I don't know if it works in this position though. Like knight b5, like, it's almost winning. Pawn takes b5, queen takes b7. The problem here is that there's queen e4 check. We have to trade queens. But then the line keeps going because I have bishop takes b5 check, king d8, and then castling queenside. I guess he has knight d6 there. So knight b5 takes, queen e4. Or wait, no, knight b5 takes. I guess the question is, do I take on b7 or b5 first? Let's imagine knight b5 takes, and I take on b5 with check first. Because if knight c6 I win, if knight bd7, then I have rook d8. But then he has queen b4 check. So knight d7 I take on b7, Queen e4 takes. Castling queenside rook t8, then I have bishop c7. But again, he has... I don't know. Knight b5, takes. Knight d7. Thinking just bishop d3 is a move too. Knight b5 takes. Queen e4, I take. Wait a minute. Or no, I was thinking like bishop c6 and then fork the rook and the knight. b5 takes, queen e4. I take, he takes, king d8. The problem is knight d6 saves him in so many lines. So, let's play bishop d3. I sacked a pawn. Bishop d3 maybe should have played quicker. I spent so much time on knight b5 because if it works it might just be winning, but I didn't see it. The threat maybe is now knight b5. I remember when I played the game I could have got this position. Now I think knight b5 is actually winning. I think we actually transposed into what could have happened in my tournament game. Because now he doesn't have queen e4 check. Knight b5, I'm threatening c7 and the queen. He has to take. I take on b7. I'm almost winning the rook. He only has queen d5, and then I just take on b5 with check. But then he has knight d7. If knight bd7, I have bishop c6. If knight fd7, queen c8 should be good enough. I'm pretty sure this is working. I'm wondering if he's watching, because, I mean, e6 is a type of move you should be aware of knight b5. But maybe, I don't know, maybe carelessness or underestimating the play. I'll have to check the actual theory. And I know my game is on ChessDB, so I'm, like, after this game, I'll go to ChessDB, I'll download I'll bring it into Lichess, and then I'll see how it compares. Because I was actually thinking about doing, like, after I had played the game, I was thinking about just doing a YouTube video covering how to get an advantage against the Qd8 Scandinavian in this variation. Because I thought it would make good YouTube content, especially because John Bartholomew recommends this line for black. But then, I don't know, it was too difficult with the tournament. And I was playing game every day, and then I got sick, so maybe this will be that video. Yeah, there's not too many options for black. I'm not sure what he's thinking about. Maybe he's just realizing his doom. So what other candidate moves? Bishop b4 check, but I have c3. Ah, but then he takes a knight. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, maybe this isn't so clear. So king f1? I forgot the bishop is hanging here too. I guess I would have queen c8 check in some lines. This is a little bit unclear, actually. I forgot about black's resources. I think I should play c3. But then my bishop is less defended on d3. So c3 he takes, I take. King somewhere? Or do I play king f1? Much safer move. King f1 takes queen takes f4, queen c8. Chess is so complicated. Bishop b4, a very good move though. Maybe I could just like, castle queenside. That would be nifty. c3 takes and castle queenside, threatening to win the queen, but he has queen c5. Then I take on b7. Let's do it. This is, I have to play c3 first. This is a no increment game. I may have just like massively confused myself. I might just be like losing here. But, okay, I'm going for this line. Because now I'm actually forking. He can't really take on c3 because then I just check and win the queen. Meanwhile, if he plays queen c5, I guess I have to take on b7 and hope for the best. Oh, actually, queen c5, I can play bishop d6. So if he takes, I take here and win the queen. How much material have I sacked? I've sacked a piece so far. So queen here, here, he takes, bishop takes b5, knight d7, I win the queen. Then he temporarily has a rook and two pieces for the queen, but I keep initiative. I'll have rook d1 and queen takes b7. Yeah, I'm very interested to analyze this game afterwards. It's very complex. Queen c5, okay, so bishop d6. If queen takes b7, I don't know, he could just castle. I mean, that's also an option though. Actually, queen takes b7, castling, I take the rook, I'm up material. He takes on c3, I take, and he's attacking. There's no time. Let's go for this. Spicy play. How many pawns am I down? Down one pawn and a piece temporarily. I'm thinking there's some lines where things can simplify a little bit, but most lines I should keep some compensation. And I do have to move quicker. He's probably debating between taking and moving the queen somewhere. If he moves the queen somewhere, I take. And I have the bishop pair, and b5 should be weak. And he wouldn't be able to castle still. Okay, so we're going into this line, guaranteed to win the queen. And the bishop is still hanging too. So, yeah, this is what I was looking at earlier, where I have rook d1 and queen takes b7. And I was thinking, I mean, okay, black's still up material, but there's a lot of pressure. If king e7, maybe I could take. If knight takes, I have queen d3. If king takes, then I have queen takes b7. Okay, so king e7 is losing. Maybe I shouldn't tell him the losing moves. Maybe king e7 isn't losing. What else does he do? He needs to defend the bishop. So I guess the bishop has to move. But then I take on b7. And then this and this are targets. Actually, there's some funny line, like if bishop e5, I can... Oh, I was thinking I could take twice on d7 and take on b7, but then there's bishop c7. But okay, this looks very fun for white. Bishop c5. Well, now that line could actually work. Like just take twice on d7. I don't see anything wrong with it. Take on b7. And now I'm finally up material. Oh no, wait, did I blunder? I forgot about king d6. So I take on b7 first. Wait, rook takes. King d6, b4. Oh, that doesn't work. So I have to take here first. Good thing I fixed the pre-move in time. Now I can take on d7 and check and win the bishop. It's still going to be a fight. Good news is I have queen and only one pawn for the two rooks. But his rooks aren't too coordinated. And a7 could be weak. Thinking in this position, that's good. I don't think there's much to think about. You have to allow queen c8 check. After rook takes e7, queen c8, rook d8, I can decide between queen c6 check first and taking the bishop. I'll probably take the bishop first because I attacked the pawn. The pawn's attacked. If I win the pawn, I have 3 connected passers. And black can't castle. If rook d7, I probably check and play queen b7, and then pick up the pawn. What were my grades in school? I forget. School was such a long time ago. I did enough to get by. Okay, I'll win the pawn. Just have to manage time. And the king is still exposed, so I can try and use it to further my agenda. But the rooks will be coordinating very soon. So let's start pushing pawns. Wants to win f2. Let's defend from a distance. My king probably belongs on a2. And my pawn belongs at the end of the board. Yeah, so I was looking at this line where rook b1, I have king a2. And that's the nice thing about having extra pawns, like he can't trade off the 2 rooks for the queen. So then it's just a winning king-pawn ending. And my queen keeps, okay, the 2 pawns defended, and now my a-pawn will start running. I don't care about f2 anymore. And the queen is preventing rook d8, was preventing rook d8. Now queen b8's the threat. Okay. The time is good enough, and he resigns. Okay. Weird game. That was some sharp stuff. First things first, let me find this game that I was referring to. It's playing a strong IM from Australia. So I'll just go to ChessDB. Anyone who wants to look at my over-the-board tournament games, this site has a pretty extensive database. The game was against Ari Dale. We drew in 16 moves. Like, he blitzed out the first 16 moves. It was ridiculous. He had like 7 extra minutes at the end of the game. Oh, my opponent says the bishop f4 line is something I've only seen once or twice. Well, maybe you'll start seeing it more if people watch this this stream. But I don't know if I misplayed it, because it looked complicated. I'll make a new study. Qd8 Scandi secret preparation. Okay. And then I'll start by importing the game I played in the tournament. This was Rosen, December 2018. And then the other game I just played, just copy the link. Lichess is great. If you have a study and you want to add a game that you played on Lichess into the study, just add a new chapter and then just paste the URL. And then it imports the game. So, how did my game go? Oh, I played h3 immediately. Oh, I played bishop e3. Ah, so this was a... Was this a moment in the game where he said... I think he said at this point I should play bishop f4. And that's what I did in... that's what I did in this game. So the same exact line. And I remember distinctly, because we went over the game briefly afterwards, and he said knight b5 is just winning. But I guess I wasn't able to figure it out. Because I spent so much time here. How much time did I spend? 7 minutes. Oh, people maybe can't see. Oh, people can see, okay. So I had 8 minutes. I spent almost 3 whole minutes on bishop d3. Because this line, it's so close to winning. Queen e4 check. I have to take. This might be the type of variation where you need like more extensive computer preparation. So yeah, one of the lines I was kind of thinking of is if knight d7, bishop c6, forking black's pieces. So if king d8. I didn't want to go into this because knight d6 blocks the d file and white's down a piece. So bishop b5 check was the other option. But then knight d7. I don't know. I'm going to be slightly lazy and just get an immediate answer from the engine. Because the engine knows best. Not suggesting knight b5. But giving white some nice compensation. Like if one side is down a pawn and the engine is still favoring that side, then there's usually a lot of compensation. Bishop d3, playable, okay. Knight b5. Ooh, so the engine, this is interesting. The engine didn't see knight b5 right away, only when we play it. It says plus 0.5, and when you play knight b5 it says plus 0.9. Probably because the engine isn't using so much CPU power. Where's the CPU settings? What? I thought there used to be like CPU. I guess you control the lines, but I really thought you can control the CPU usage. Huh. Oh, you can make it go deeper. Ah, so the green bar means it's still calculating maybe. And then if you click this, I think it increases the depth. Yeah, so it takes time. I don't want to kill my computer though, because the combination of streaming and Stockfish, it could be causing too much overheating. Oh, CPU usage option is only available in certain browsers. Okay, so it used to be available on Chrome back when I used Chrome, but Chrome ironically took up too much CPU usage. So let's figure out why is it giving an advantage for white. Bishop takes b5, okay. Knight bd7. Queen takes b7, rook d8. Ah, bishop c7. Like only move. Then queen e4 check. Takes, castles. So it's very deep analysis. Castling knight d6, I assume. With knight d6. Ah, rook takes d6. What a move. Rook takes e6 and then rook e1. Nasty. Bishop here, and then bishop takes e6, everything's pinned. And white's down a rook, but winning the bishop and then winning more stuff. What a move. Okay, so this is useful to know. If I were to like make a repertoire on this line, I would have this in a separate chapter. Can people see? People can't see the chapters tab. But if I wanted to just make a new chapter, say like queen d8 preparation, and then just save this line as its own chapter and ensure I could like add to it and review it. So knight c3, here, here, here. So I guess h3 is key move. Bishop f4. I remember after the game he was telling me he wouldn't take, but he would play, I think like e6 or knight d7. Probably e6. There should be Masters games. Yeah, castling. Ooh, John Bartholomew beats a Theramon? When did that happen? View. Whoa. So Theramon knew bishop f4. Seems like black just equalized. If I'm studying this really seriously, I look at like the GM games and then find deviations, like how to improve on their play, usually with the help of the engine. So this seems like main line, bishop b4. And John Bartholomew is probably one of the world's leading experts on this variation. So knowing his preparation and then using the engine to try and refute it is probably the best approach. a3. And there's not too many games here. Anyway, if people want to explore this, this study is free or completely public on Lichess. And if anyone wants to have a study that they control with this preparation, you can go, I think this button, and then clone, and then that will give you a duplicate of the study and then give you ownership. So I know people want to play games, but hopefully that was instructive. Maybe I'll make like a whole YouTube snippet video out of that, just devoted to Queen D8 Scandi. So for the YouTube audience, hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys in the future, or you'll see me in the future.